Welcome to Cormier Auto Repair. It's Saturday, February 28th, 2015. This is our company drag race car. We actually just bought for scrap one day for $200, but then we decided to put a little bit of money into it and see if we can make it go. This is the engine that pushes 375 horsepower. We had it dyno tested and tuned. 300 horsepower is at the wheel. There's a lot of modifications done. It's a 3.8 liter engine with a supercharger. The car itself is a 99 Grand Prix GTP, and the most unique thing about this car is that it has two engines. There's one there, and after a lot of design and painstaking work, there's one in there also. I'll come around the car and show you what's going on here. We decided, I've been wanting to do this for years, and actually I was quite surprised to find out that there's a fella out in the Montreal area who's already done it with the same car, for crying out loud. Anyway, so there's our rear engine, identical, clone, twin, same suspension system, or sorry, the same cross engine cradle and everything that's in the front is identical. It's a 3.8 supercharged engine. It's cammed, it's ported, polished. It's going to be pushing a roughly 325 horsepower. We opted not to go with an intercooler on this engine. We have put AEM methanol injection on this engine so to reduce NOx. The rear suspension of this car was built using components of the original rear suspension. This piece right here was actually upside down underneath, and these holes were where the cross members went down to the spindles. So we reused just about everything that was on the original cars, like these strut supports and stuff. They were all off of here, and we just cut them all to size and made sure that this rear end isn't going anywhere. There's supports. We used the original rack and pinion. We just stripped it down. That's the rack you see going across there, and it's welded right firmly to the cradle there, and we still have toe adjustments so in the rear, so when we do set it up we'll be able to set the toe, and we also have camber. We've slotted the rear struts. Of course that's not done as of yet. The radiator for the rear engine is here. It's the fans have been reversed to the other side to actually suck air, or they're pulling air from this side into the radiator, so we shouldn't have any overheating issues. So the fuel cell is going to go in this area right here. We have to cut a slot in the floor, and we're going to actually build it right in with metal so it'll be safe. So there it is, the engine mounted in the rear. I'm going to do a little bit more trimming to make it a little more accessible. Let me show you what we've done for suspension and engine cradle mounting. Put the car up in the air. We were quite surprised that when we actually looked at the car sitting on the ground, it sits about a half an inch to an inch taller at the back than the front, which is exactly what we wanted it to do. So we're going to have a little bit more center of gravity over the front wheels, which of course these cars need because they have a tendency to smoke the tires, and now with half the load taken off the front engine, I think that this might be a big problem with this car. So we have drag slicks. We're going to run front and rear on the car. They give it incredible traction. We ran a 12.5 quarter last year at 180k. That was our best time. We beat quite a few formidable cars, including a brand new Vet, a couple of Vipers, stuff like that. Here's the exhaust off the front engine. It's a header system with a 3-inch collector vented right out the side of the car. This, they call it a muffler, but what a joke, there's a little triangle baffle. Okay, rear engine. What we did is we put a piece of 2.5 by 2.5 inch solid 1/4 inch thick steel bar, welded it right into the frame here, cut a hole, welded it right in. This is the original engine cradle from the other donor car. We had to trim the corners off the sides here. to make it fit underneath the frame. Setting up the car to have this, or setting up this to be exactly true and square, was the most difficult part. These are hockey pucks in between, large bolts bolted that are welded right through this and bolted up underneath in here. So there the engine sits. We have to actually roll the engine forward. It's sitting a little bit backwards right now. We don't have the front mounts on. You can have a look at the suspension we built here. These rods connect right to the rear bumper mount here. The radiator is actually mounted right to these rods, welded across this piece of metal here. Here are the fans. I've tinned up the back here so that all the air leaving this car is ducted straight down on an angle out through the back of the car. There's no way to get back in the car from the top, and I'm going to put a little flap down along here to make sure that all the air stays out the back of the car, not recirculating. Anyways, now we have a big job, and that is to get the wiring all ready and sorted. And we have a deadline for May 24th this year at the Arm Drop Drag Race Series in Picton. We want to have this car there. We want it to run, and we want it to do some miracles. We're hoping to be maybe low 11s, maybe even into the 10s, hopefully, if we get it running right and everything working copacetically. I don't know if you noticed, but inside the car, in the interior, there was 2 shifters side by side. These are both automatics. You just put them in drive and go. I'll be filming more soon.